Good morning, everyone. Now, today's date is the 23rd of November 2025, and it's Sagittarius season. Yes, the sun moved into Sagittarius at 4 o'clock this morning, and I'll put a link in the description box where you can find the ephemeris. So, when the sun enters the sign of Sagittarius, and will continue until December 22nd, 2025, when the sun will move into Capricorn. Now, some people might wonder why I keep doing these astrological videos. Well, it's simply for the fact that on the spiritual journey, which I started in 2019, yes, on YouTube, one of the important factors is to know and understand the astrological themes in one's life and in one other's life as well. So this is all part of the spiritual journey. So on with today, the 23rd of November, the sunrise was at 7:33 this morning at 122 degrees. The sunset will be at 16:08 at 238 degrees. And solar noon will be at 11:50. Yes, just in a few moments now, because it's 11:37 at the moment. And that will be at 18.8 degrees elevation. The day length today will be 8 hours and 35 minutes. Right. Now, I will put links for those things in the description box. Now, the November moonrise, the 23rd, that's today, will be at, or was at 11:04, 138 degrees, and the moon set will be at 17:54 at 223 degrees. Once again, there'll be a link in the description box for that. But first, something for everyone today. The moon today. The moon phase for November 23rd, 2025 is a waxing crescent. And the moon is in Capricorn, which means for everybody, you might have a strong need for being useful to society, and you look for justification in the outside world. You may underestimate what you want from yourself and from others. Shyness may be accompanied by resentment of the fact that others ignore you. Do not seek approval from the outside. It will not help you get rid of your doubt, and it is harmful to you. You have to trust your inner values. The organs influenced by the Capricorn moon are the knees, the joints, backbone, spinal muscles, patellar bones, tendons and ligaments, skin, hair, spleen, the organ of balance. These organs are now more sensitive, so provide them with extra care. The traits of Sagittarius individuals. Sagittarius Individuals are known for their adventurous, optimistic, and free-spirited nature, driven by deep curiosity and a desire for exploration and knowledge. They are often described as energetic, humorous, and honest, with a strong sense of idealism and a love for freedom, travel, and intellectual pursuits. However, their blunt honesty and impulsive nature can sometimes lead to misunderstandings or hurt feelings. They are known for their expressive faces and bright, welcoming demeanor. And today is the first day of the Sun sign Sagittarius 2025. Jupiter is the planetary frequency that rules Sagittarius. It is often said, you can't serve two masters, but if you are born on the cusp of the sign, another planet or two planets will have their frequency influence on you too. So if you are born in the first 3 or 4 days of Sagittarius, you will have the frequency of Scorpio with Mars and Pluto to deal with. And if you are born in the last 3 or 4 days of Sagittarius, you will have the influence of Capricorn and Saturn to contend with. In astrology, the cusp period between two zodiac signs typically covers a span of 2 to 5 days, occurring at the transition point where the sun moves from one sign to the next. Some sources suggest the cusp can extend up to 3 days before or after the official sign date change, while others define it more narrowly, allowing only 1 or 2 days before and half a day after the sun crosses into the new sign. The exact duration can vary depending on the astrologer's interpretation, but the general consensus is the cusp is a brief transitional period lasting a few days. So if you are born 5 days before or after the change date, you may have the cusp influence in your life, although at 5 days, the effect may be very small indeed, but still there. In astrology, a cusp, that's from Latin for spear or point, is the imaginary line that separates a pair of consecutive signs in the zodiac or houses in the horoscope. Because the solar disk has a diameter of approximately half a degree, it is possible for the sun to straddle the cusp as it moves across the sky. When this occurs at the moment of their birth, such a person is said to be born on the cusp, and some interpretations of astrology hold that their life is influenced by the characteristics of both signs. Now, that can be seen on Wikipedia. I'll put the link in the description box. Now, individuals born with with Jupiter in Sagittarius, are characterized by a powerful blend of optimism, adventurousness, and deep philosophical curiosity. This placement amplifies the natural traits of Sagittarius, fostering a love for freedom, exploration, and the pursuit of truth through travel, higher education, and diverse cultural experiences. They are often seen as generous, enthusiastic, and inspiring, with a contagious spirit that motivates others to embrace new opportunities and expand their horizons. They thrive in environments that encourage intellectual growth, travel, and personal development, often seeking meaning beyond material success. Now, I was born on the 19th of November, so I always considered myself to be born on the cusp and having those attributes myself. So now to look at the planetary opposition with Jupiter. So when a planet is 180 degrees opposite Jupiter, when Jupiter is in Sagittarius. So when the Sun is in opposition to Jupiter in an astrological chart, it signifies a dynamic tension between the core self, Sun, and the expansive growth-orientated energy of Jupiter. This aspect occurring when two celestial bodies are approximately 180 degrees apart in the sky creates a push-pull between personal identity and the desire for broader experiences, abundant and philosophical exploration. The Sun represents ego, purpose, and individuality, whilst Jupiter governs expansion, optimism, luck, and a sense of higher meaning. This opposition often manifests as a struggle to balance personal ambitions with the need for greater purpose or a tendency to overextend oneself in personal growth. Individuals may feel torn between self-promotion and a sense of responsibility, or between their drive for achievement and their ethical considerations. When the Moon is in opposition to Jupiter in Sagittarius, it creates a dynamic tension between Moon's need for emotional security and comfort and Jupiter's expansive drive for philosophical understanding, truth, and freedom. This aspect signifies a conflict between emotional need and broader beliefs, where the Moon seeks closeness and stability, whilst Jupiter leans towards growth, ideals, and big picture thinking. The individual may experience emotional restlessness, feeling scattered as they constantly seek new information or conversations, while simultaneously craving a definitive belief or a sense of a larger purpose. This can manifest as overpromising in excitement or struggling to filter the multitude of ideas encountered, leading to emotional strain. So on to Venus. When Venus is in opposition to Jupiter in Sagittarius, it creates a dynamic interplay between the planet of love, beauty, and values. Venus, the planet of expansion, optimism, and higher learning. Jupiter, this specific transit where Venus opposes Jupiter in the sign of Sagittarius amplifies themes of adventure, philosophical exploration, and a desire for freedom within relationships and personal values. When Mercury is in opposition to Jupiter in Sagittarius, it creates a dynamic tension between the planet of communication and the planet of expansion, symbolizing a clash between immediate practical thinking and broader philosophical or spiritual perspectives. This aspect highlights a conflict between the need to process details and the desire to understand the bigger picture, often leading to a feeling of being pulled in opposite directions. On to Saturn. When Saturn is in opposition to Jupiter, particularly when Jupiter is in Sagittarius. The astrological meaning centers on a dynamic tension between expansion and restriction. Jupiter in Sagittarius brings an urge to break free and explore, fueled by optimism and a desire for growth and adventure. However, Saturn, as the planet of discipline, responsibility, and structure, acts as an counterbalance, often holding back or imposing practical constraints on these expansive dreams. This opposition creates a clash between the need for freedom and the demands of duty, potentially leading to internal conflict or external challenges in areas governed by these planets, such as career, personal growth, and long-term personal goals. The aspect highlights a struggle between the desire to pursue big dreams and the necessity of adhering to responsibilities and limitations. When Jupiter seeks to expand horizon and embrace new experiences, Saturn encourages caution, hard work, and long-term planning, which can feel like a barrier to immediate progress. When Uranus is in opposition to Jupiter, and Jupiter is in Sagittarius, the astrological meaning centers on a dynamic tension between expansive philosophical growth and sudden revolutionary change. This aspect, known as Jupiter opposite Uranus, creates a powerful push-pull between the desire for broad understanding, truth, and higher learning, symbolized by Jupiter in Sagittarius, and the need for radical shifts, intellectual agility, and unconventional perspectives represented by Uranus. Jupiter in Sagittarius governs the pursuit of truth, higher education, and spiritual exploration, encouraging a quest for meaning and broad-minded worldview. Uranus, the planet of innovation and rebellion, opposes this by introducing disruptive forces that challenge established beliefs, provoke sudden intellectual shifts, and demand a break from dogma. This opposition can manifest as a sudden urge to question long-held truths, a restless need for information, or an abrupt shift in one's philosophical or spiritual path. When Neptune is in opposition to Jupiter, particularly when Jupiter is in Sagittarius, the astrological meaning centers on the significant tension between expansive, truth-seeking ideals and a dreamy, idealistic, or potentially illusory pursuit of meaning. This aspect, known as Jupiter opposite Neptune, creates a dynamic where Jupiter's drive for growth and optimism and philosophical understanding in Jupiter clashes with Neptune's influence of spiritual idealism, illusion, and the dissolution of boundaries. Jupiter in Sagittarius seeks ultimate truth, foreign wisdom, and broad philosophical understanding, often through travel, higher education, or spiritual exploration. However, Neptune in the opposing sign Gemini introduces a tendency toward vague information, intellectual escapism, and a diffusion of focus. This can manifest as a grand quest for a unifying belief system that lacks practical grounding, leading to spread of unverified ideas or the tendency to get lost in a sea of information without discerning truth from illusion. The challenge lies in grounding expansive visions in clear, verifiable information and allowing curiosity to refine rather than dilute the pursuit of truth. When Pluto is in opposition to Jupiter, with Jupiter in Sagittarius, the astrological meaning centers on the dynamic tension between expansive philosophical ideas and intense transformative power struggles. This opposition creates a clash between the desire for broad horizons, truth-seeking, and higher knowledge, Jupiter in Sagittarius, and the need for deep psychological transformation, control, and the uncovering of hidden truths, Pluto in Gemini. The individual may experience a profound conflict between their pursuit of grand philosophies and ultimate truths and the manipulative drive for informational control, obsession with details, or the exposure of hidden agendas. This can manifest in significant legal disputes over intellectual property, intense media battles over truth versus misinformation, or a powerful need to reveal concealed narratives within communication systems. Now, you can find all these opposition details by Googling the opposition's meanings, between the two planets. Other links in the video are listed in the description box under the video. All my own videos of astrological signs and some other videos are available to view on my website, sitesgoogle.com, Universal Comprehension Academy under Research Videos. And there'll be a link for that under the video too. So that's it for Sagittarius 2025 with planetary oppositions to Jupiter. Join me for more astrology next month. And if you wish, love, like, and subscribe. So that's bye for now. Bye from me, David Stanley, and the spiritual journey and the astrological sign of Sagittarius 2025. So, bye for now. See you next month.